We've all heard the stories. Friends start a business together, and it's either a huge success or a total disaster. It's a journey that's full of potential, but also, let's be real, a lot of pitfalls. Today, we're going to dive into one of those stories, the story of Crystal Ship Artists. We'll see how they managed to build a truly high-performing team out of friendship, a whole lot of ambition, and, a few crucial mistakes they were smart enough to learn from. And it all started right here, with this one powerful idea from the founder, Francesca Francois. See, she wasn't just looking to start another company. She wanted to build something different, something that would push back against a system she felt was just crushing creativity. This one sentence, this was the seed for everything that came next. So, who exactly are Crystal Ship Artists, or CSA, as we'll call them? Well, think of them as a talent agency with a very specific, very cool mission. They've got bases in two of the world's biggest creative hubs, New York and London, and they represent all kinds of talent, from actors to writers to directors. So what was the big catalyst for all this? Well, you have to go back to 2013. The founder was just done. She was tired of the corporate world, of chasing what she called unattainable quotas, and trying to fit into someone else's box. She decided it was time to break free and build her own thing, an agency where creative freedom was the top priority, not just the bottom line. Of course, a brilliant idea is one thing, but you can't bring it to life without the right people. So the absolute first, most critical step was putting together the core team, a group of people whose skills would perfectly complement each other. And wow, what a team she assembled. You've got Sharon, the data whiz, coming over from NBC. You have PK, an old friend with super deep connections in the theater world. Then there's Rich Murphy, a legendary talent spotter from ICM, who helped discover artists like Usher and Brandy. Yeah, that Usher and Brandy. And rounding it out is Christine, who has this incredible gift for finding and nurturing young talent. I mean, talk about a powerhouse team right from the start. Okay, so they built the dream team. Should be smooth sailing from here on out, right? Well, not exactly. Building the team was one thing, but actually leading them, that turned out to be a whole other challenge, and it was the founder's first real test as a leader. And this quote right here, it just gets right to the heart of the problem. How do you go from being friends, from being peers, to suddenly being the CEO? It perfectly captures that awkward, uncomfortable feeling so many founders go through when their buddies suddenly become their employees. So what was the first big stumble? It was this idea that a completely democratic company was the best way to go. The theory sounded great, right? Let's have everyone vote on everything, from legal stuff to bookkeeping, to give everyone a sense of ownership. But the reality? It was just chaos. People wanted to use their specific expertise, not get stuck in endless debates about every little corporate decision. So they had to learn, and they had to learn fast. The big lessons were pretty clear. First, stop making the whole team do work that one person could do better. And second, start managing them as one cohesive unit, not just a collection of individuals. That meant creating a clear hierarchy, and it also meant some serious soul-searching for the founder, who had to admit her biggest weakness was listening, and then really commit to getting better at it. Okay, so after navigating those early storms, something started to shift. The team really started to find its rhythm. They moved past all those growing pains and began to work like the high-performing unit they were always meant to be. This is where all that hard work really started to pay off. A huge part of their success came down to creating what experts call psychological safety. It sounds complicated, but it's pretty simple. It's about building an environment where people feel safe enough to speak their minds, to throw out a crazy idea, or even to admit they messed up, all without fearing they'll be punished for it. But, and this is key, CSA also learned you have to balance that safety with really high standards. Otherwise, comfort can just turn into complacency. And the results? Well, they really do speak for themselves. This is just a tiny snapshot of their daily audition log, but just look at these projects. Happy Gilmore 2 for Netflix, Law & Order, and Just Like That, Only Murders in the Building. Their clients are getting seen for some of the biggest shows and movies out there. This is what it looks like when a high-performing team is firing on all cylinders. But here's the thing about CSA. They're not the kind of team to just sit back and relax. They're already looking ahead to the next frontier. Their vision is so much bigger than just New York and London. They want to build a bridge that allows creative talent to work seamlessly all over the globe. And the flagship project to make this all happen is called the Transatlantic Toolkit. It's a bold name, for sure, but it perfectly captures their mission: to give their artists every single tool they need to build a truly international career. So, what is this thing really? It's a whole set of resources designed specifically for clients who have the ability to work in multiple countries. And the goal is super simple. Just get rid of all the friction, all the red tape, and break down the geographical walls that have kept creative markets separate for way too long. And we're not talking about some vague, fluffy concept here. The toolkit is incredibly practical. It offers real, tangible help with navigating visas. It gives clients a direct line to international buyers like the BBC and Netflix UK. It even has standardized contracts that work in both markets and uses AI and data to track opportunities across borders. It's the whole shebang. You know, what's so fascinating is how their journey almost perfectly maps on to this classic model of team development called Tuckman stages. You can see their whole story here, the initial excitement and idealism of forming, the inevitable clashes and conflicts during storming, then finding their structure and rules in the norming phase, and finally, reaching that coveted performing stage where they're operating as a truly seamless team. And really, it all comes back to this one final quote, which is maybe the biggest lesson from their entire story. You can have the best business plan in the world, the most brilliant idea, but if you don't have a strong culture built on trust and respect and shared values, it just means nothing. Culture isn't just a nice to have. Culture is the strategy. All of which leaves us with one final big thought to chew on. As agencies like Crystal Ship Artists continue to build these bridges across oceans with amazing ideas like the Transatlantic Toolkit, you have to wonder, in a world that's more connected than ever, is the very future of creativity completely borderless?